Welcome back, family. This is your boy ED. For all you smart and intelligent folks out here, listen, that just simply means. And hey, today I got a great one for you today. Today's episode is entitled, Can Project Managers Work Remotely? Again, can project managers work remotely? First of all, you already know I want to set the foundation, and then I'll unpack three principles. Well, actually, I'm not even going to go in my principles bag today. I'm going to go in my pros versus cons, just a conversation today. So let's look at the foundation. So when we talk about working remotely means not being on site or being at a physical location, not having the opportunity to have that synergy of working in, face to face, not through video or anything of that nature. So that's how I draw up when I say someone works remotely. They're not on site at a physical location at the company location. They're working from their home or even working from like a Starbucks or some of these places like a WeWork. I know they have office space. So there's so many things there that you can adjust. But just to make it simple and simplify, when I say working remotely, I'm saying working from home as the thing. So let's look at some pros for a project manager to be able to work remotely. Now let's keep this in mind too. The question is, can a project manager work remotely? And the answer is absolutely yes. Absolutely yes. But let's look at the pros of that project manager working remotely. So the pros, no commit, no commute to work. Now let me explain something, family. I remember there was a job I was working that my total commute time was 3 hours. So it was an hour and a half there and an hour and a half back. And again, as you know from previous videos, family, I turned my vehicle into a learning machine where I listen to a lot of different audible books or motivation on YouTube or things of that nature. So I took advantage of the time, but that commute to work, I mean, let's say I had to be to work at 8, I had to get up at least at 6 because I need to be out the door by 7 or actually 6:30, um, because of the fact of you don't know what traffic may bring, meaning that there may be a storm, there may have been a car accident, and so traffic is backed up. So that commute, I'm gonna tell you that commute into work, it was very interesting. So having to make that commute into work will is one of the pros of being able to work remotely. The next one is work disruptions. Now you see, I use work disruptions when you're working remotely, and again, I'm a talker, so I can't blame anybody but myself. So what'll happen is that you will engage in a lot of conversation and dialogue that may be about the project and may not be about the project. So one of the things is that you may be let's say you're building out your schedule, or let's say you're putting together an email or some that needs focus and attention to in so many words. Somebody will just come up and start talking to you. And if you're like me, you don't want to be rude and say, hey, can you come back? So you engage in the conversation. And this can be a huge distraction. Something that should only took you maybe an hour now has turned into 3 or 4 hours because now you done had this conversation, and now you're like, man, well, let me go use the bathroom. Then you use the bathroom, and then it's like, oh, well, let me go grab me a snack. And then, so by the time you do all of that, you're like, oh man, I done wasted 2 to 3 hours, and I'm not focusing on the job at hand. And so that's why I always look at, like, with work distractions, what I will always do is when I'm really focusing on something. I know I'm letting all the secrets out, project manager. I'm sorry, but hey, we gotta help other newbie project managers or even project managers that's not up on this game. What I would do is that I would get me a conference room anytime I had to focus on anything, because I knew I would get distracted by someone coming up or something. And it's something about when people see you, it's like, oh, hey, such and want to just engage in a conversation, which have my arms open and wanting to have those conversations. So again, family, work distractions can really have an impact on how you're leading your project, and reason why being able to work remotely is amazing. Another pro is saving money on food and clothing. When you commute into work, you have the chances of stopping to get, your Starbucks or your Dunkin' Donuts, coffee and donut and pastry and all of these different things. And then you got lunch, and then you end up going out to lunch and spending. So, being able to work remotely saves you money on not having to go out and to these different places and get breakfast. Now you at home, you make your own coffee, you make your own breakfast, you make your own lunch, or you can even, Uber Eats or anything like that. But the point is that you're not spending as much money as you normally would, because what would happen is some of your project team may say, hey, who wants to go? Let's go out to Pappadeaux for lunch today. And you're like, all right, this is a project team thing, so let me go out because I want to let them know that I'm not trying to isolate myself from them, and this would be a good opportunity just to learn more about the team. So I'm telling you, that starts getting costly over time. So being able to avoid that is, you're able to save a lot of money. Now, let's navigate into the cons of working, when you work remotely. And again, can a project manager work remotely? Absolutely yes. Here we go. Here's the three that I came up with. And again, no particular order. Home distractions. Oh man, I don't know about you, but it seems like when you work if you've ever worked from home, and people know you work from home, they'll have you doing little odd jobs, like, hey, I just got a package delivered at my house. Do you think you could drive around the corner and grab it for me? I mean, we stay right around the corner from each other, and I know, and you're like, all right, I'll do that. And then something else comes up, and you're like, hey man, let me explain something to you. I'm at work, you know that, right? It's just like, so there's challenges, working from home, because again, there's still distractions that could come up. People could ring the doorbell trying to sell you something, or inform you in something. It could be that, there's, kids running around. Let's say they're sick and they didn't get to go to school or daycare. So there's so many different factors that also can play a part. So it is a con that you can be distracted. Just like I said, there's work distractions. There are also home distractions. Another con is for somebody like me that is a extrovert that loves, people give me like a lot of energy. Like, I get excited when I'm around people and just having conversation and learning and dialogue. And one of the things is that when you work remotely, all of your engagement is video or voice. So you don't get a chance to have that engagement face to face, where you're actually talking, and you can get a sense of synergy. And sometimes you're able to read on video of what people are thinking, but in person is so much easier. When you're talking to someone, you can kind of get a better sense through what you're seeing eye to eye, and you can really learn a lot about somebody that way. Not saying you can't by video, of course you can, but I'm just saying that is a con. And the last thing that can be a con when you work remotely: technology. I can give you so many different examples, so I'm gonna make sure I barrel it down to just two or three. So you can get power failure. Yep. I mean, some can happen where you may have had the storm that night, during the day, or the night before, and your power is affected. So if you don't have no power, unfortunately, you can't log in. Or now another thing is, you could have issues with your work laptop. Let's say you're not able to connect to the network. Um, that could be another issue, and that may force you to have to either go into the office to get everything registered, or however they decide to do it for that. But again, family, that the technology can be, you know, it can be helpful and it can be a negative. And in this case, I'm describing it as a negative, as a con, because also you can be on a video with somebody and all of a sudden it starts buffering and freezing. You like, what was that last sentence you said again? Said it again, and then you start doing all of that. So, again, family, there are some really amazing pros, and there are some cons. And so, as I always told you, what my mom shared with me is, she said, "Hey, son, make a list of the pros and cons, and if the cons outweigh the pros, well, you got your answer." So, in answering this question of can project managers work remotely? Absolutely, they can. However, it's a case by case scenario if it fits you, because maybe you are someone that needs to be in office, or maybe you're someone that needs to be at home. Again, it's up to you. Until next time, this is your boy ED. I'm out.